Hey there, how's it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward, back again with another Ask Lee video Q&A. Now today I've got a question from Norman, and he says that he's been watching my YouTube videos for a while, and he finally decided to write for some more advice. He says he's 63 years old, and he's lifted weights on and off through the years, and lately he's become more conscious about his diet and nutrition. He says he's discovered that there are a lot of products, plans, and workouts out there which are very confusing to say the least. And he wants to know what kind of diet should he follow in order to maximize his progress. He's trying to eat more protein and less carbs, but he still seems to gain weight in the abdominal area. He wants to know if I have any advice to help him out. Alright, well, thanks for that question, Norman. And when it comes to bodybuilding and nutrition and all that stuff, fighting the battle of the bulge is a never-ending struggle, because we're constantly juggling trying to eat enough food to maximize muscle growth, and then also trying to not eat too much food that we're going to gain body fat. Or if you're in a fat loss phase, you're trying to eat a low enough caloric intake, a caloric deficit, in order to burn body fat, but not so low that you're going to burn up lean muscle in the process. So it's always a juggling or balancing act, I guess, when it comes to your nutrition. Now, there are a couple suggestions that I have for you that can make a big difference. Now, one, you mentioned in your email that you're trying to eat more protein and less carbohydrates. And generally speaking, that's a step in the right direction, because most people tend to eat too many carbohydrates for their body's needs, especially too many processed carbohydrates, and very often carbohydrates that are technically not even foods. I mean, if you count carbohydrates in the form of cakes, cookies, donuts, chips and crisps and all that stuff, that isn't even real food, and that shouldn't be in your nutrition program, except for an occasional treat once every blue moon. But besides the point, getting back to your question, focusing on pure, solid, good, clean, wholesome foods is the number one thing. And when it comes to your carbohydrate intake, you don't need to avoid carbs altogether, but you need to be more selective, and there's an ideal time when you can consume your carbs that will have the biggest impact in terms of building lean muscle, and the least impact in terms of storing excess body fat. And what I want you to do is try and eat your starchy carbohydrates after exercise. This is a little strategy that you can use, and it goes a long way into ensuring that those carbs are going to get utilized for recovery and muscle growth rather than getting stored as unwanted body fat. So after a hard workout, be it a weight training workout, a cardio workout, or a combination of both, you can have a good hearty meal that contains complex carbohydrates. You know, your typical meat and potatoes type of meal. For your other meals throughout the day, try and focus primarily on low starchy carbohydrates, so protein and green vegetables. You know, chicken and salad, something along those lines for your non-post-workout meals. But after exercise is when you can give yourself a bit of flexibility and a bit of freedom and allow yourself to have some starchy carbohydrates. And this little strategy can go a long way in terms of maximizing your progress in the gym. So how you can go about this, I'll kind of give you an outline of a typical day. If you're training for fat loss, a great strategy is to incorporate cardiovascular exercise first thing in the morning before eating. Now, I know there's some controversy out there about, fasted cardio, and some people say you shouldn't do it. But bottom line, it does work, and a lot of bodybuilders incorporate this in their training with great results. And I've used it myself every time I've trained for fat loss or bodybuilding competition. I always like to incorporate cardio first thing in the morning. So it's a great way to get your day started, and you're starting off with some exercise. So, of course, you can have some carbs after exercise. And this way you can have a nice, wholesome breakfast with a serving of starchy carbohydrates. Good sources like oatmeal, sprouted grain bread or whole grain bread, something along those lines for a good solid source of starchy carbohydrates, and then some protein to go along with it. Could be Egg whites, could be a protein shake, something of that nature. But again, protein carbs for your post-exercise meal. Throughout the day, focus primarily on lean protein, green veggies, like I mentioned before. And then if you do your weight training, then later in the afternoon, you can have a good solid dinner with protein and starchy carbohydrates again for that post-workout meal. And finish off the day with some lean protein and try and keep the carbohydrates low, especially before bed. Something along the lines of, say, like a protein powder mixed in with some Greek yogurt is a nice little treat because it kind of mixes up like a pudding, and it can provide you with some slow digesting casein protein along with some faster digesting protein from the protein powder, and it's a great way to have a late night high protein low carb snack. So those are some tips that you can implement in your nutrition program. And if you'd like to have a more detailed nutrition plan, then I highly recommend you download my Bodybuilding Nutrition Made Simple ebook. And this is a totally free download, and you can head on over to my website at leehayward.com and pick it up for yourself. Or if you want, I have a link to that ebook right in the video description below, so you can just click on that link and it'll take you to the direct download page. And like I say, hopefully that will help you in your quest for optimizing your muscle building and fat burning nutrition. So there you go, Norman. Hopefully this video was helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to post those in the comment section below, and I'll chat with you down there. And as always, have yourself an awesome day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Over and out. And if you enjoyed this video, then you'll love my free bodybuilding tips email newsletter. Just head on over to my website at leehayward.com and enter your name and email address in the form, and I'll personally keep you up to date with all my latest training and nutrition tips to help you build muscle and burn body fat. Again, this is totally free of charge. All you have to do is head on over to my website, leehayward.com, for all the details.